Rachel Maddow went on Jon Stewart's show to talk about her new special on the Iraq War called Why We Did It, and they're both gonna obliterate neoconservatives and war hawks.
Nobody really wants to go to war against Russia over this Crimea thing, but if we did want to...
I've been watching the news.
Well, we are all Ukrainians now, according to Senator McCain.
It's incredible, too, how quickly they jump. And we listen to all these individuals who were so wrong, led us so awry in the Iraq War, and they're immediately on television with great confidence. We're so naive. It's been 48 hours. Attack! You know, the hubris is incredible.
Yeah, and that's because there hasn't been accountability for the people who were wrong the first time. The people who said we ought to go, it's not going to take very many people, it's going to pay for itself. It doesn't matter that we're not going to set up a government. Iraq will be right back on its feet. It'll be a Jeffersonian democracy in the heart of the Middle East. I mean, those guys got like, Paul Wolfowitz's got to go like run the World Bank. Really? Like, you shouldn't be running a light rail system in a small town in a country other than this one that we dislike. Like, you can't actually have credibility on national security issues. You can't be Bill Kristol, for example, who's banging the drums harder than anybody else that we ought to go to Iraq and that it would work out great, and now banging the drums for any subsequent war. And shame on us for even asking their opinion.
It always shocks me.
Yeah.
When you go, you know, we got Dick Cheney on the line, and then, you know, all the kind of here's, you know, oh, these guys don't understand what they're on the thing, and you just want somebody to say, you know, you've been wrong about everything. Imagine, I always say this to people, imagine going to work every day for 8 years and being wrong, and then towards the end of that time, shooting an old man in the face, and still people ask your opinion about things.
Right. People ask your opinion specifically about, like, executive
those issues.
Force and lying to the American people.
Those points are so good. It's incredible that 100% of people in the country don't nod along in agreement as they're talking. I mean, seriously, just objectively, empirically speaking, the neoconservatives were wrong about everything. So how could we possibly live in a world where that group of people is still giving their opinions today on the Sunday shows and during the week on Fox News and in the mainstream media? I mean, that's like, it's like taking an accountant who every single one of his clients was put in jail for tax evasion because their taxes were wrong, right? And then you ask that accountant for advice on, hey, man, what should I do with this year's numbers? What's my rate this year? Go ahead, do my deductions for me. It's like taking a 5'2", 13-year-old blind person and saying, hey, man, go ahead and do analysis of professional basketball for me because sure you know a lot about it. No, the person who's going to not know anything and going to be wrong, you don't go to them and ask them about it. I mean, they just make such great points. But to add on top of that, the American people don't take Dick Cheney and Bill Kristol and Paul Wolfowitz and the neocons seriously. They hate them. It's only the establishment and the corporate media that takes them seriously and asks their opinion. And that really shows you how skewed to the right our political system and our spectrum has gone in the U.S. That the people making decisions, they really are in a group that might think from time to time, well, what does Dick Cheney think on this issue? What does George Bush have to say?